Here comes an A-list performance because Kirk Morrison, our longtime colleague and now part of the Raider broadcast team, Kirk Morrison returns to Sedano and Cap. Kirk, good afternoon.
What's up, Cappy? How we doing, my man?
We're doing great, man. How'd you enjoy last night and going home to the Raiders and being part of that broadcast? You look great.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Hanging out with my buddy, MVP Rich Gannon, Jason Horowitz, man. We had a great broadcast, and it was fun to be on the road up in Seattle for Pete Carroll's homecoming, to where he led that franchise to his first and only Super Bowl, and obviously Geno Smith is their starter the last couple of years, and he had a warm welcome, but yet some folks didn't seem to call it warm, and obviously we saw some antics right before they took the field. So a lot to unpack, but, man, I was excited.
Yeah, I see a lot of Raider fans on Twitter going, "That's my quarterback," because they show him throwing the double birds at some Seahawks fans.
Bird, baby.
There was a guy that had a sign that said, "Who's the bigger bust, Jamarcus Russell, or what you got right now?" And he was like, yeah, that ain't happening here, dog. I've been here for 5 years. I took you guys to some playoff games. I'm a Raider now. Double bird this, buddy."
I loved every bit of it, especially because Max Crosby, who he's only really been around for a couple months, was right there with him. It was like, hey, if my quarterback need me, I'm going out there with him. So they both went out there flipping the bird. But we had a tie last night too, man. Like, we did all that work and watching it, and to see that it ended in a tie, man, I just kept laughing. Like, how could this happen? But, fun times. It's great. Excited, man.
Kirk, have you ever flipped off anybody during a game or been in that situation?
Oh, for sure. But this is like, remember, I played in the era where the camera phone wasn't really prevalent yet. You know what I mean? Like, now you can't do nothing, especially think about that Hawkeye camera, that LeBron. Remember when they called that foul against him in that first opening round series? Like, it's just crazy now that all the cameras, because I know I didn't flip off some people.
Who were you flipping off? Who'd you flip off?
It's fans. The fans, because like seriously, like there's some fans who like seriously used to say some things. And look, I play for the Raiders, so I know. But there's some fans who will step out of line, and so I got to say some stuff back to them.
All right, who are the worst fans that you flipped off?
Words.
Which fans did you flip off?
Can't be Raider fans.
No, you can't flip off Raider fans. But like Kansas City Chiefs fans sometimes, but like they're not really obnoxious. But just think about it. Jared Verse has been in the NFL, right, for the Rams for 1 year. And I think he probably flipped off some Philadelphia Eagles fans. Like, those are the fans that you want to flip off because they're obnoxious, they're annoying, they think that they're all that, and now they won a Super Bowl. So, now they really think they're hot stuff.
Which they are.
So I think, for me,
which they are.
Yeah, you heard that. Yeah. No, I think those are like the fans that you want to flip off the Eagles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, Kirk, though, it is interesting that Pete Carroll said today, there are a lot of people out there that are going, oh, look, the Raiders didn't look so good last night. But Pete Carroll said today, what did you people think we were going to do? Like, show off our entire offense? What do you think we were going to do? Like, start running trick plays that we were going to use later in the season? What Pete pretty much was saying was, we were going to keep it super vanilla because we don't want everybody to know what we're going to be about. Do you buy that?
Yeah. Oh man, that's not the team that I've seen over in Las Vegas over the last 3 weeks at practice. I mean, they saved a lot. They didn't even go into their 2 tight end package with Michael Mayer and the best tight end in the NFL, Brock Bowers. So they kept a lot, I think, they kept it a lot in the holster, and they're trying to really wait till week 1 when they go against the New England Patriots, because right now there's really nothing that you want to show. I think that everybody wants to see Chip Kelly's offense. What is it going to look like? He won a national championship at Ohio State. Remember, he was over at Oregon and all that. What's his offense going to look like? I know what it's going to look like. And Geno's been balling. And so I think that what happens is people expect to see that right away. And that's just not the case. There's still a lot of time left. Remember, Matthew Stafford hasn't even practiced yet. Like, that's how long we've gotten to the regular season start. So when you start looking around the league, nobody's really fully into what they're going to be come week 1 in the regular season. We're still in the infancy stages of preseason, week 1 preseason. So we'll see in a couple of weeks, man. So for people my Raider fans who are listening, just relax. We're going to be okay. Ashton Jeanty will be fine. He's not Trent Richardson. Trust me.
Take it easy. Take it easy. So my boy Ace of SoCal, big Raider fan, he has this question for you, Kirk, right? Raiders have the number 1 offensive option in Brock Bowers. They drafted a complimentary running back for their offense. How many touches per game do you see Chip Kelly getting Ashton Jeanty?
That's scary right now because I can see Ashton getting between 15 to 18 right now, and only because when you think about, you mentioned Brock Bowers, that's the best tight in the league. The dude that had 117 catches last year as a rookie. And Geno Smith says, I want to get him the ball more. So what if I'm getting him the ball more, is that 140 catches? Is that 125? And then Michael Mayer, who was the best tight end I thought coming out a couple years ago, he's available. Jacoby Myers is a number 1 wide receiver, and they drafted 2 kids at wide receiver as well. So how many – there's only one football right now. And I know Genty's a rookie, but I don't know if I'm giving him the football 25, 30 times. I think 15 to 18 and kind of watch him grow. It's the same thing I look at with Jahmyr Gibbs, remember the running back for the Detroit Lions? It's the same way I thought Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson did over the last couple of years. Get him, about 15 to 20 touches, right in that range, and then as he continues to evolve, then you can start loading up. Now he's the number 1 back in Detroit. I like the way they did it with Jahmyr. I think Chip Kelly does the same thing with Ashton Jeanty.
Well, it's interesting, Kirk, because, we're talking to Kirk Morrison, who's now moved from our Rams coverage to his original team, Raiders. And so now he's covering the Raiders and working as part of the Raiders broadcast, was on the game broadcast last night. There were a lot of people ridiculing the Raiders that Ashton Jeanty had 3 carries last night for -1 yard.
Come on.
And I'm thinking to myself, guys, it's 3 carries because they don't want to take a risk of getting this kid hurt. Get him in, an ounce of action, and get him out and keep him healthy. So it fascinates me how people actually put stock into preseason stats. What did you think last night that Ashton Jeanty was going to do?
I mean, that was his first time getting tackled since the Fiesta Bowl in January. Think about how far removed we are from like New Year's and, seeing the Fiesta Bowl where he and Boise State went against Penn State. So to me, the first time him getting tackled, the first time him being out there and just getting the flow of the game. And then look, people don't talk about his first carry was for 4 yards. And then all of a sudden his offensive line got blown up on a couple plays and he got tackled in the backfield. That's not on Ashton Jeanty. He's over there running. He's got a free linebacker in his face who took him down for a loss. Like, that's not Ashton Jeanty. But, hey, when you look at the box score, it's like, oh, he had negative yards. Like, no, people, watch the game. The dude can ball, but they've got some issues along the offensive line, and they got to continue to gel because they got some new pieces, young guys up front who are moving and switching positions. It's more about the O-line than it was Ashton Jeanty last night.
All right, Kirk, in the YouTube chat, we're throwing some old-school Raider names in there. Where it says he's not walking through that door. So one of the names that went through, Mervin Fernandez. Funch had James Jett. I threw in Marcus Tuiasosopo. Give me some old school Raider names that people are going to be like, what?
Willie Galt.
Walking
through that door.
All right.
Harvey Williams is not walking through that door.
Okay. All right. Lyle Alzado walking through the door or no?
No, Phil Villapiano is not walking through that door.
How about Howie Long? Howie Long walking through that door?
Howie Long not walking through that door. My guy, Ray Guy, the first ever punter to be nominated to the Hall of Fame, is not walking through that door, man.
How about
Todd Christensen ain't walking through that door.
Oh, I like Todd Christensen.
I like that.
Because they started with Rich Gannon ain't walking through that door. Yeah,
Art Shell.
No,
Rich Gannon, Rich Gannon was on the. How funny, by the way, is Rich Gannon? He's so Philly, and pretty much after everything Rich Gannon says, he says, "You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?" Like, how some people say, "You know what I'm saying?" He says, "You know what I mean? You know what I mean?"
Hey, he's so intense, man. It's hilarious. So it's like this generational thing. So you have like my era of NFL folks and a lot of guys who I played with or were on staff with. they're all in the positions of, coaches and coordinators, right, around the NFL, or even head coaches, right? My college quarterback is a head coach now, and then my other college quarterback is a general manager with the New York Jets. So, that's kind of like my era. But then you have guys like Rich Gannon, who played in the era where, Pete Carroll was his defensive backs coach when he was a rookie with the Minnesota Vikings. Like it's just different eras of football, and I love hearing the guys who, he played with or he was coached by. And it's just, man, it's so much knowledge, but it's hilarious talking to Rich because, Rich is an MVP, but, man, if he sees some bad quarterback play, I mean, the dude was almost throwing his headsets last night when Aiden O'Connell threw a couple interceptions. Like, he can't do that. What is he doing? Get him out of there. I'm like, Rich, relax. Calm down, buddy.
Still doing
just by the way, just side note, we'll let you go on this. Last night I got caught up somehow in watching some ESPN 30 for 30 about the Heisman Trophy race in the mid-'90s. It was Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson. And you talk about different eras of football.
And Randy Moss.
Yes, but it was Peyton Manning, and he was handing off or tossing out of the backfield to Jamal Lewis. And there were just so many other names of guys, and you're like, oh, man. Like, you forget how many guys, played together in college that went on to have NFL success, and it becomes like a whole era. Going back and watching old college football games, and then you hear the names, wow, all those guys became stars,
well, people forget that Jamal Lewis rushed for 2,000 yards.
Yeah, it was great.
He rushed, think about 2,000 yards rushing in a season. Jamal Lewis did that. I had the opportunity to try to tackle him. The dude was a load, man. It's like some of these guys you watch and you sit here like, man, come on. Because there's a lot of, and this goes back to what I always say, there's a lot of guys who are not in the Hall of Fame, but had a nice 2, 3, 4-year run of elite NFL play, but they don't have some of the same recognition. I mean, I was with one of my buddies, I'm in Seattle, right? So Lofa Tatupu, known Lofa for a really long time. I know a lot of people at USC, so we're over. Yeah, we're hanging out, and we're just talking. And we were just talking about the team that USC had, right, in 03, 04, 05. Oof. And I'm like, you think about how many guys from that team would actually, or still in or went on to the NFL. And he felt like he wasn't even the best linebacker. He was talking about Dallas Sarts. Remember Matt Grudigan? Yeah. Remember Brian Cushing? Remember young Keith Rivers? Clay Matthews was a walk-on. We start going through it. I'm like, golly, that's how hard the NFL is when you got guys who are on elite teams and yet never really had big-time careers. But it was just because how competitive the NFL is.
Kirk, interesting start to the preseason last night. Great to see you on the broadcast, and we look forward to talking Raider football all season long with you. Thanks, man. Appreciate you being available.
All right. All good. Beto, Cap, just win, baby. I'm out.
My man right there. He knows what's up. Right. Napoleon Kaufman ain't walking through that door, Cappy.
No, he is not. Jim Plunkett ain't walking through that door. I got bad news for everybody.
Tom Marinovich ain't walking through that door.
No, that's true, and people probably don't want that.